What is mentorship and why is it valuable? A mentor is defined as an experienced and trusted advisor. It's a person who advises or trains somebody, especially a younger colleague. Why is it so essential? Why is it so essential that companies take time to train people under them? Not just companies, law firms, any type of industry. It's extremely important and also profitable for the bottom line. There are a number of benefits that apply to both the mentor and the mentee. But let's discuss briefly the benefits for the mentees. When you graduate from college, you're educated. It doesn't matter whether you have a BA, BS, MA, PhD, medical degree, or law degree. You go into the world with little or no experience. You've been taught all the academics, but there are certain things that experience will teach you that you never, ever learn from books. For example, in some countries, before you can become a lawyer, you have to work as an intern, sometimes paid and unpaid. Doctors have their residency. PhDs, for example, have teaching assignments to give them experience when they ultimately become professors. You really do not know anything until you get out into the world. Somebody told me once that all a college degree means is that you're easier to train than somebody who doesn't have a college degree. I think for the most part that's true, but I've also met an incredible amount of individuals who have no college degree, but have been able to learn without the benefit of a university or institution and become very successful. They've learned from life's experiences. That's why mentoring is important. Being mentored is one of the most valuable and effective development opportunities you can offer an employee. You have the guidance, the encouragement, and the support of a trusted or experienced mentor to provide the mentee with professional and personal benefits. This will ultimately lead to improved performance in the workplace. For the mentees, it's exposure to new ideas and ways of thinking. It's advice on developing strengths and overcoming weaknesses. Guidance on professional development and advancement. It increases your visibility and recognition within the company. It's the opportunity to develop new skills. Companies, when you're planning the succession plan, law firms, when you want to develop partners, where are you going to develop them? From the people that you have there. That is, in a sense, the low-hanging fruit. You already have people who have been working with the company, understand the company structure, but why not mentor them? Why not make them better? Some people feel, well, if I mentor these people, they may take my job. So what? You're not going to be there forever. And keeping everything all to yourself and not mentoring somebody makes you less effective as a manager. Your performance is often based on how well the people do around you, not how well you can do the job yourself. Historically, in my personal experience, when people have tried to keep everything in, try to do everything themselves without training somebody, without delegating, without giving them the opportunity to grow into position, it almost always ends in disaster. Some companies do not have a culture of mentoring. It's catch as catch can. Some law firms just bill, bill, bill. It takes time to mentor. It's an investment that you have to make. But it's not all about the mentee. It's also for the mentor. When you have a mentor-mentee relationship, you have two people learning from each other. These young millennials, these baby boomers all had to learn from somebody. Mentoring is more than the transfer advice or knowledge. It's the relationship which offers a reciprocal benefit for the mentor who is willing to invest his time in developing another professional. You learn how to communicate with an audience that you're not used to. You have recognition as a subject matter expert. The mentee will look up to you. If he or she is asking you for advice, it's because they respect you. How often do you get offended when somebody says, I really want your opinion? That means that you're valued. They think enough about you to ask. It also gives you an exposure to fresh perspectives and ideas and approaches. Too often, we as older people do things a certain way and don't ever change just because we don't. We're used to doing it a certain way. A young person, a young, hungry, and eager person wants to learn, but that person also has ideas. Mentoring them is and making them do well, teaching them so that they do well, also extends your professional development record. You leave with a legacy of people that you've trained, people that you've influenced in life. It also gives you an opportunity to reflect on your goals and practices. You can also develop, it also develops personal leadership and coaching styles. Teaching is not easy. It's often easy to lose patience, but it's well worth the time. For the company, the benefits are incredible. Employers who invest in the business of mentoring, it's a cost-effective way to develop your emerging talent, keep your most knowledgeable and experienced performers, engage them, energize them. If somebody's working for you as an entry-level associate, and that's all he's ever or she are ever going to see, what motivation do they have to do their job? What motivation do they have to come up with new ideas? Mentoring is not only information coming from the mentor, it is also information coming from the mentee. It's a mutual learning. Also, as a mentor, you have to formulate what it is you do. How are you going to pass this knowledge? They can't learn it through osmosis. You have to put it in a plan, put it in a program so they understand it. And in doing that, as I mentioned earlier, helps you develop more your skill set. Mentoring, a company-sponsored mentorship that develops a culture of personal and professional growth. The people who are mentored then begin to share the company values and behaviors. In my company, one of the precepts is bias for action. How can these young people have a bias for action if we don't mentor them, if we don't teach them? It will enhance leadership and coaching skills in managers. It is not easy to manage. I remember once a manager said, it's easy to manage when times are good, but when times are bad, that's when you're skilled. And mentoring people, giving them a leadership position, and you mentoring them, you both really develop your skills. It enhances leadership. You also improve staff morale, performance, and motivation. You engage, retain, and develop performers. How could it not be profitable? The problem is that people often do not want to take the time to do it. There are some people who are just selfish with their knowledge, it seems. They don't want to tell somebody else. I learned it. You just need to learn it on your own. No one is an island. No one can function alone. Nobody can do a job by his or herself. You're generally going to need some kind of help. And what better way to help develop the company precepts, the company bottom line, than bringing in people, teaching them the company way, teaching them what you know. Because when we're gone, we're gone. You're not going to teach anybody at that time. You spend a lifetime from the time you graduate from college to the time that you, well, leave this world. You've acquired so much knowledge. Pass it on. Pay it forward. Those of you who are young, do not be ashamed. Do not be embarrassed to ask somebody, what do you think? I think it's a compliment. When you ask somebody for their advice, you are complimenting them. You are saying to that person that your advice is important to me. I value what you're saying. If you can please take the time to tell me, I will take the time to listen eagerly. Mentoring has been a key constant in my life. I have been mentored by a number of people in my life. I feel it's important to mentor as many people as I can. I get asked quite a bit because I work with a lot of younger lawyers, and I'm happy to do it. For me, it's the thrill of watching the happiness in their face when you explain the situation to them that you've learned from life experiences, and they say, wow, that's interesting. I never thought about it that way. When they ask me, I have to really formulate how I'm going to tell them, how am I going to communicate, understanding that they may not have the depth of knowledge that I do, but I need to organize it so that they understand it. And it's not just telling them, this is what you do. Mentoring is a continuous process. It's not just a cup of coffee, go my son and sin no more. It is a system of processes that take place throughout the term of the relationship. You're not a mentor once, you're a mentor always. You are a mentor to a person who will appreciate what you have to offer them. The mentee will look up to you, will respect you, and will thank you forever. And when that mentee becomes your age, gets to your age, hopefully he or she will mentor other people. Take the time. It is worth the effort. Take somebody, mentor them, and help them on their path to personal and professional career growth. Thank you.